Sugar knocks out Merab unconscious, KOs him. Who wouldn't want to see Ilya versus the Sugar Show?
This is the Schmo, with the pro, with the head honcho of the Red Hawk Academy, with the podcast host of the Timbo Sugar Show. He's the one and only Tim Welch in the flesh here in Peoria, Arizona. How we doing?
Doing good, staying busy, doing the shit I like to do, and everything's going pretty smooth.
It's always smooth with you, Tim.
I mean, thankfully, the last couple years has been pretty smooth. We got some tough work cut out for us, though. Next fight, big one, Merab.
Official.
I think getting pretty close to official. I mean, no contracts are signed yet, but that looks like what's going to be next.
Yes, but talk to the Schmo for a second. The Sugar State Athletic Commission, they ended up getting it right when it came to the Chito Vera fight. Sugar Sean O'Malley, he did his thing. He was extremely effective. But what are you most proud of from that fight when you reflect on everything, Tim?
Most proud of is just how focused he stayed for 5 rounds of whooping ass. You know, when he cracked Cheeto early in the fight, he really could have emptied his tank and that could have changed the outcome of fight. But he stayed focused for 5 rounds and he really made it a statement. Everyone thought Cheeto was going to take it over in the 4th and 5th, and Sean wanted to make a statement to make sure he's whooping his ass in the 4th and 5th. And that's what I was most proud of, the 5-round ass whooping.
How do you guys stay so balanced and even keel? You got a lot of people pulling at you for things. He's a famous guy. He's got people rolling up to his house. Got a lot of people lining up at the academy. How do you stay so grounded with all the success?
I mean, there's always someone tougher than you in some area. So trying to find different people that always can whoop my ass, that can whoop his ass. There's always someone who can whoop your ass. You got to remember that. And just saying no to things, like I was telling you earlier, learning to say no to things and focusing on the things that give me my greatest return.
And what gives you the greatest return?
I mean, right now it's probably my academy, my coffee shop, Snapchat, YouTube, Patreon.
What don't you do?
Buy hookers.
Probably a smart thing, but talk to the Schmo for a second. You said it. Merab likely next. We know his forte comes with the grappling game. How are you going to stuff his takedowns and be successful? He's got the moniker, The Machine, so we know he's got cardio for days. He's ready for a 5-round fight, but how do you stop the guy?
I mean, he's 5'3", and that cage is really big. Sugar's a solid 6 foot. Merab has I think it looks probably close to an 8-inch nose. And so Sean's very accurate. So we're planning on punching that nose completely sideways for 5 rounds. And Merab's going to have a hell of a time tracking Sugar down and a hell of a time grabbing a hold of him. And when he does get a hold of him, then we get to show a whole new game that we've been saving for an opponent like this, Sean's ground game. He's been working on it for years and years and years, and no one's had the skills to be able to get him to the ground. And Merabi's in for it.
So do we predict a finish, whether you choke him out, submitting him, or knocking him out?
There's a very good chance Sean knocks him out because Merab is the crazy type. He's the crazy type. He's not going to sit back. He's going to rush in. He's going to force a takedown. And when you're forcing anything against the Sugar Show, there's a good chance you're going to be waking up looking at the lights.
What's your overall rating of the doppelganger that Merab's got of Sugar Sean O'Malley? You've seen the skits. What's the rating?
I think they're doing a good job. They found a fellow who looked similar to Sugar, and I'm enjoying it. I hope he keeps it up.
Hopefully it's the Sphere where they dance, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know what Dana's plan is for the Sphere. How many times are they going to go there? I heard, rumor had it, they're only going to go there once. Sugar Show headlining the Sphere on Mexican Day, September. Oh my God.
Well, you're big into the manifestation. So is Sugar Sean O'Malley. So what does the perfect year look like for Sugar Show? Is Merab, you get through him. If you get through him, likely do. If you do, that's the goal. Do you go up to 145?
I mean, if Sugar knocks out Merab unconscious, KOs him, who wouldn't want to see Ilya versus the Sugar Show?
You think Ilya's going to still be there, even if he rematches Volk or anybody else? Ilya's going to be the champ for that period of time.
I think so. I think Ilya is probably top 3 most skilled people in the UFC. So I think at 145, I don't think anyone's going to touch him right now.
Not right now.
Not right now.
When you're looking at a game film, outside of Ilya, who else you enjoy watching these days?
Man, I'm just a fan of the sport. Nowadays, there's just so many good, skilled guys in the UFC. Almost every time I turn on a fight, there's just some freakish athlete, an athlete that's on the beginning prelims that 10 years ago would 100% be a world champion. And there's just so many things to learn in wrestling and jiu-jitsu, and MMA is still evolving. So I really like watching everyone. But the people I love to watch, who I'm pumped to see them fight, is obviously Israel Adesanya. Love watching Shan Strickland. Love watching him blab his lips, march people down. I mean, the list is endless. All the top guys, but like I said, if you're in the UFC these days, you're a real stud.
Who do you think Shan Strickland should be fighting next?
I would love to see Shan Strickland battle Jared Cannonier, and then the winner gets a title shot. I think Jared Cannonier deserves to be talked about a little bit more. He has a tough time being loud in the media, and I know these days you kind of need to be talked about, but Jared Cannonier is an animal. He could beat Dreykus on any given day.
And Shan Strickland would certainly want that back because he lost to Jared Cannonier.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Shan Strickland might want that back, but also he might be like, wow, I don't know. That is a very, very tough fight with a guy who hits very hard. Maybe Shan Strickland would rather just fight for the title.
How would you describe your coaching style?
I mean, I've just learned from great coaches myself. I've got to learn from the great Robert Follis. I've got to learn from Greg Jackson. I've got to learn from John Crouch. I've got to learn from Taquinho Mendez. From my very first MMA coach, Matthew Powers. I've got to learn from such great coaches. So I try to take all the things that I like from them and put it into my coaching, and just things that I've learned throughout my fighting career and stuff. And I try to just take all the good things and give it to my people.
Why do redheads do it better?
Well, I wouldn't say that. I would say some do.
Would you say you're some?
Well, that depends who you ask, but I believe so.
The Schmo thinks so too. You're doing pretty well for yourself, Tim.
I appreciate that.
Can we get a final message for all the Timbo fans out there worldwide?
Take a peek at my Snapchat. It's at TimWelchMT. I'm snapping my days every day, all day.
He's the pro. I'm the Schmo. We're out.